In this episode, we talk about signboards with warnings against non-Hindus entering and working in the villages being put up in Rudraprayag. We also talk about a Congress leader being booked for the alleged abetment of suicide of a government school teacher. But first, we talk about 12 deaths that took place during a recruitment process. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda and you are listening to 3 Things, the Indian Express news show. The physical examination of the Jharkhand excise constable recruitment process began on 22nd August. However, the examinations came to a halt when 12 aspirants died during the 10-kilometer run that was a part of the selection procedure. The families of the deceased have been grieving the loss and have mentioned that while some aspirants fainted during the run itself, some completed it and seemed stable but lost consciousness later and were soon declared dead. To understand the reasons behind the deaths and how the government has been responding to the incident, we have Indian Express's Abhishek Angad joining us. Abhishek, can you tell us what happened in Jharkhand as far as the excise constable recruitment process is concerned?
Yeah, so this is the first time that excise constable recruitment happened in Jharkhand since its formation in 2000. So excise constable's job comprises raiding predominantly and also supporting and working under senior officers wherever there is, in terms of illicit liquor manufacturing is happening or illegally any kind of alcohol or whatever is being traded or being stored. So that kind of raids, and they accompany them. So in Jharkhand, around 5 lakh candidates applied for 583 positions, which later resulted in the deaths of 12 aspirants.
And have the reasons behind the deaths of the aspirants been identified yet?
Yeah, so I managed to get hold of some of the postmortem reports. The postmortem reports clearly says X person does not have any external injury. There's a froth present in the mouth of the deceased person. Therefore, the viscera is preserved for further examination, which will finally tell the cause of death. This is what PM report says. PM report has not said anything conclusively as of now. That's one. Now, the officials say that the deaths could be a result of heart attack. Mr. R.K. Malik is a senior police officer in Jharkhand. He said that the deaths were results of, could be because of the heart attacks and which could be because of various reasons. My sources tell me there could be a brain hemorrhage, there could be lungs arrest, there could be cardiac arrest, respiratory arrest, there could be multi-organ failure. Many things could have been possible. So as of now, it baffles a lot of people that why these many people have died because they couldn't run. So the people also prepared for constabularies, right? I mean, earlier, because if in Jharkhand police, 10 kilometers physical assessment test exists, so it means that people have been running for 10 kilometers. And some doctors have also pointed out that it could be a result of post-COVID complications where the body is not able to take more without practice. That's number one. And second is some doctors are also telling runners also take steroids to enhance their performance. So when they are on steroids, they're not able to see when the body is giving red flags to them in terms of that they should now stop running. But when they stop running, finally their body is already given up and they have just ran in their reserve energy. And once they stop, they just go unconscious. So there could be various and multiple reasons. A team is there probing into the issue.
And Abhishek, can you tell us what is the recruitment process for the post of an excise constable?
Yeah, so the excise constable recruitment process involves 3 predominant steps. One step is about the aspirants has to qualify the physical assessment test. And the physical assessment test would include running for 10 kilometers under 60 minutes for men and 5 kilometers in 40 minutes for women. So that's part 1. Part 2 is out of the qualifiers from the physical assessment test, people will then sit and give a written examination, which will have certain syllabus, and people then qualifying that would also go to the third step, that is medical assessment. And finally, when the medical assessment is done, 583 candidate in this case will be selected for the excise constabulary. So these are the process which was involved in this particular examination.
Right. And has this process remained the same over time or have some changes been made in it? And has the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha been involved in bringing these changes?
So the first change that happened is under the previous BJP government, that is in 2016. It's called Amended Rules of 2016 and it was notified on August 1, 2016. So basically what changed from 2013 to 2016 was the distance that a person runs. As we know that in many exams right now, for example, for instance, in Agniveer selection, the candidates have to run 1.6 kilometer, that is a mile, within 6 minutes. Similar tests were conducted in Jharkhand and Jharkhand constabulary also in the police. So that was the norm in excise also. And however, there were certain changes that were made in the Jharkhand police constables that they would have to now run for 10 kilometers under 60 minutes because Jharkhand police constable required certain kind of fitness. So that was extended to August 1, 2016 excise department notification where 1.6 kilometers running distance was changed to 10 kilometers. By changing, they said that we will follow what Jharkhand Police Constabulary follows as they had made it in 2014. Now this government came to power, which is Jharkhand Mukti Morcha led government. Under this government, sources say that they shifted the recruitment, they changed the order of the recruitment process. So under earlier notification, the written examination was first, then it was a physical assessment, then it was medical test. Here they changed it. The Jharkhand Mukti Morcha government thought that we need to first assess the physical test first and then the written examination. It was particularly done to show and made it clear cut to provide an optics about, look, there are so many people who are running for particular kind of job. So that was the idea to create a lot of buzz. So this was the change that Jharkhand Mukti Morcha made, which clearly did not work in this scenario.
So how did the Jharkhand government respond to this incident?
See, it's not great for the current government to say that, look, we were conducting the test and this happened because of the BJP's changed rules. This has happened because obviously if you knew that 10 kilometers is the test that has going to happen, you could have been better prepared because the people who have been critical of the government are saying that there could have been preliminary screening of and government should have been better equipped to handle these kind of cases. You know, if somebody is fainting, then the ambulance and the things should be there to resuscitate or to revive the people who have gone unconscious rather than going to the hospital. So there were a lot of underpreparedness around this. That's the people are telling about. So then now Jharkhand government has come up with altogether a new set of rules where Palamu district's center where the running took place. One of the critical assessments about that place was that it's a bit of on a slope. So many candidates also faced a very highland sort of up in terms of slope in terms when they ran, and that's why a lot more exertion. So the Palamu venue center has been cancelled. So initially it was conducted in 7 districts. One has cancelled, remaining 6 districts. From 9th onwards, this has again started, that is from today. And it is 3,000 per day per center so that people are equipped and people are there to handle if there is any problem. So the Jharkhand government has not discontinued the selection process. They are doing what they can.
Right. And what kind of political reactions has the incident garnered?
Politically, Jharkhand government is saying that what is the reason that these kind of deaths are happening and calls for larger investigation. That's why they formed a medical committee and expert. However, the opposition has latched on to it and saying that how can the people die? You're not giving jobs to enough people. Of course, there is some merit in what the opposition is saying because there is this particular desperation in the candidates. You know, because if you see there are 5 lakh or 6 lakh candidates for applying for position of less than 600 posts. It's less than 0.1% chance of getting selected. So certainly there is desperation to get hold of some sort of job. It's a government job. People just go and run because they just try their luck. So unemployment is a major issue, which has been an issue in the last government also, but opposition has latched onto it and they've created a sort of an impact in the state where they say that the Hemant Soren government is responsible for these deaths. But the Soren government has also responded by saying that the notification was made in the BJP's time and we have done what we could.
Abhishek, you also had a chat with the Excise Department Secretary. So what did he have to say regarding this development?
Yeah, so Excise Secretary Mr. Manoj Kumar said and told me very candidly that, listen, I asked you, was it in the hindsight, do you think 10 kilometers run before the written examination was a mistake? So he said no, because they need physically fit people. There was no point in conducting tests for 5 to 6 lakh candidates appearing for written examination and then filter out that way, because they wanted to filter out who had cleared the physical assessment first, because that's the primary criteria for being a constable, because they have to just walk and run for 10 kilometers and conduct so many raids. So that's the thing that Mr. Secretary said he used in his defense.
Right. And Abhishek, how do we see this case moving ahead from here?
I don't think so. Until we get a report from the expert committee, there will be any talk on this. Until someone else dies in the next 5 to 6 days where the recruitment is happening. So the government will be very careful in terms of giving all medical support to the people. So if there will be any anomalies in terms of selection process as a physical assessment test where there is some candidates are facing problem, then this could lead to major trouble for this government. Otherwise, I think everybody is waiting for the report to come out and the PM report, and in terms of the medical board, the full report on the cause of deaths made public.
Next, we talk about signboards against non-Hindus being put up in villages in Rudraprayag. About 2 months back, certain signboards started popping up in multiple villages in Rudraprayag. The signs read, quote, "Warning, non-Hindus/Rohingya Muslims and hawkers are prohibited from roaming in the village and doing business. If caught anywhere in the village, punitive and legal action will be taken." Unquote. For years, the villages of Rudraprayag, a key stop along the Kedarnath Yatra, saw communities working together peacefully. However, these signboards have the potential to threaten that harmony. To understand who put these signboards up, what was the reason behind it, and how has it impacted life in Rudraprayag, we have Indian Express's Avanish Mishra joining us. Avanish, can you talk to us about the boards that started popping up in different villages in Rudraprayag, and how was the problem identified?
I talked to some of the people and some of them said that a few of these boards came up as early as around 2 months ago. And the media and the police came to know about this after a delegation of the AIMIM and a Muslim Seva Sangathan. They met the DGP of the state and informed in a letter that such boards are coming up in several parts of the state. However, it was just limited to Rudraprayag and some villages in that area. But after that, I also did a story on that, and later the police took cognizance of the matter, and it was found that such boards have been installed at around 9 villages in that particular area.
You mentioned the DG, so how did the police react with regards to the boards?
Yeah, as I mentioned that some organization and delegation of the AIMIM, they met the DGP and they gave him a letter. However, even after that, no serious step was taken. I talked to the SP of that district and she also said that she does not have any information about the boards. And also the DGP at that point did not have any information. I also wrote a story on this particular topic, and from there this kind of gained attention. Other media organizations also followed this thing, and later on the police took cognizance of the matter, and the local SP and the police station in charge, they sent his teams to these villages, and these boards were removed from those places.
And Avanish, before the boards came up, how did the city of Rudraprayag function?
See, Rudraprayag is very important in terms of the religious tourism of the state, because this is a district where one of the most important pilgrimage sites, which is the Kedarnath, it's situated. And this particular area, the villages I am talking about, these are on the base of where the Kedarnath Yatra starts. So as I said, this is a very important point, and I would say a big chunk of the state's economy is dependent on this particular area. And for a very long time, people have been involved in the business of the Char Dham Yatra. They have been earning money from that. And even other communities, including Muslims, are also coming here in a large number and have been doing business for a very long time. It was always in a very harmonious manner, and even now when I went to these villages and I talked to the locals, even Muslims who have been living there for a very long time, they said that they never faced any discrimination, and even after the boards coming up in those areas, they are not scared or not worried that there were words written like non-Hindus are not allowed, because they said that they understand that this is not for them but for those who are coming from outside. Like for example, one person I talked to, he said that he has been living there for last 12 years. And recently he was sick and admitted to a hospital for 2 months. And the Hindu locals of the area took care of his family. So, I mean, other than these incidents, I would say things are very good over there. But such boards coming up and kind of disrupting the social harmony is something we should be worried about.
Right. And you had a chat with the district president of Bhairav Sena, a Hindu organization. So what did he have to say regarding these boards and what reasons were given by him for putting them up?
Yeah, I talked to this person. His name is Ashok Semwal, and he said that district president of this particular organization. But I wouldn't say that this organization per se is involved in these things, but this guy was the first person, and he claimed that he was the first person who installed these boards in his village, which is Shersi village. And after that, other neighboring villages kind of followed the same thing and asked him that they also wanted to install such boards. And Ashok said that those other villages also followed what he did. And the reason probably given is that there are several factors actually. The first thing is that there is a large scale belief across Uttarakhand that the demography of the state is changing and people are coming from outside, particularly Muslims, and they are taking away their business and their jobs. Another thing is that there were some recent incidents in the past which kind of turned violent. Then the most recent was in Chamoli, where a 25-year-old man was accused of molesting a minor Hindu girl, and after that it kind of turned violent with around 10 to 12 shops run by Muslims vandalized. So because of these things, and another factor is that in the recent rain related disasters in the Kedar Valley, people have this sentiment that the Muslims who are living here and earning with the Kedarnath Yatra, they did not come forward to, help in any way during the disasters. But the recent trigger in that area was some thefts in the local temples. The most recent being an allegation that a silver statue of a Nagaraj Devta, who's the local deity over there, his statue was stolen from a temple, and the locals believe that it must be some Muslim because no Hindu is going to do that. So all these factors combined kind of resulted in this resentment towards the Muslim, and that is the reason which is given by these people, that they kind of needed to ensure that their villages are safe when they are working, when they are not present in their village during the Yatra season.
And now that the boards have been taken down, what did he have to say regarding that?
He said that he put up the board in his village around 2 months ago, and later some people opposed to the step, and they said that he should not use such words. And later he said that he realized his mistake, that his problem and the problem of other locals is with those who are coming from outside and kind of committing crimes over there. They do not have problems with the Muslims already living in their area for last several years. So he said that they have made a mistake and they are going to correct it. He said that all the boards, they will remove the words like the non-Hindus and Rohingya Muslims and replace those with outsiders and unidentified people.
Right. And Avneesh, how have the people of the villages reacted to these developments?
It is actually hard to explain. There is this belief increasing not just in that particular area, but across Uttarakhand, that something needs to be done for this demographic change. It's a mixed reaction, I would say. A lot of people believe that something must be done and probably this is the right step. But also at the same time, a lot of people believe that there is no reason for them to kind of target a particular community or saying such things which can kind of disrupt the harmony that there is. So yeah, as I said, there is a mixed reaction, and probably that is why a lot of people opposed to these steps, and ultimately those boards were removed.
And in the end, we talk about a Congress leader being booked for the abetment of suicide of a government school teacher. Senior Congress leader and former Chhattisgarh Minister Mohammad Akbar and 3 others were booked for the alleged abetment of suicide of a government school teacher in Balod district of the state. Balod Additional Superintendent of Police Ashok Kumar Joshi told news agency PTI that Akbar, Madar Khan alias Salim Khan, Harendra Netam and Pradeep Thakur were booked on Sunday under sections 108 abetment of suicide and 3.5 common intention of the BNS at the Dondi police station based on a suicide note purportedly left by government school teacher Devendra Thakur. Akbar has denied the allegation and said he was being implicated. The superintendent of police said, quote, on September 3, Thakur, who was posted at the government primary school in Odgaon, was found hanging at his house in Ghotia. A suicide note recovered from his pocket named former Minister Akbar, Madar Khan, Netam and Pradeep Thakur as those responsible for the act. As per the note, the four allegedly took money but did not provide the promised job, nor did they refund the amount. Unquote. Another official said that on Sunday, Madar Khan alias Salim Khan, Harendra Netam and Pradeep Thakur were booked in a separate case by the Dondi police for allegedly duping people on the pretext of getting them jobs in the forest department during the previous Congress government. The official mentioned that they have been charged under the Indian Penal Code sections 420 cheating and 34 common intention based on the complaint of one Chandar Singh of Odgaon village. He added that as per the complaint, back in 2022, when the state was ruled by the Congress, an advertisement was released for the recruitment of forest guard and other posts in the state's forest department. Chandar Singh claimed that he gave rupees 4.70 lakh to Netam Khan and Pradeep Thakur through the teacher Devendra Thakur for getting recruited as a forest guard. Like Singh, about 70 others cumulatively gave rupees 3.70 crore to these persons for the job, the official said, quoting the complaint. The official also mentioned, quote, Khan had introduced himself as a relative of Akbar, then forest minister in the Bhupesh Baghel government, to the aspirants. When aspirants did not get the jobs, they sought their money back, but the three accused allegedly refused to return the money. Teacher Devendra Thakur apparently took the extreme step due to the same issue. Unquote. Probe into the two cases is underway and no arrests have been made in either of them. When contacted, Akbar told PTI the case against him is false and fabricated, adding that he was being implicated. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by me, Niharika Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.